Randy?
Billy, good to see you.
Thank you. This is Southern ELR in reloading, and today we're at Hawks Double Mountain Ranch here in Raton, Texas.
Running an ELR match, and glad to have you here. Congratulations on your finish yesterday.
Thank you,
Did
sir.
very well in light gun.
Thank you.
And top 2.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was a surprise for me. I didn't realize that when we were filming, and hey.
Well, watching you shoot and hearing the buzzer go off, I knew you were doing well.
So. That buzzer, it keeps you alive.
Yeah, yeah. With all of the things going on with the filming and trying to show people what you do, I thought it might take away from your game, but you did very well.
Honestly,
nice shooting.
I told my buddy that. I was like, you know, I'm so new to this, and then now I'm new to this. Mm-hmm. There's no way it's not going to affect me.
You'll just get better.
Well, it does affect me, but I'm not trying to do much more than I already did before. Mm-hmm. And so I think that helps.
Yeah. Well, I think what I saw was you didn't treat it like a competition. You just wanted to shoot your best. And which is the way this ELR is a lot of times. It's friendly competition. Yeah. People help each other out. I've seen people loan scopes. I've loaned a scope to somebody. If you're having trouble with your rifle or your gear, people are helping each other out. It's a very, very nice crowd to be with.
So I asked Otis if he would spot for me. I've seen him out a lot at Spear Point, and he does a really good job.
He's a very good spotter.
And you can tell he's passionate.
Yes.
And you know, if it doesn't go his way one day, he'll let you know, and when he does, everybody congratulates everybody, and you know, we move forward and we learn.
Yes.
And so I was happy that he helped me on that, because I didn't have a spotter coming in.
Yeah.
And he was here, and I knew what he was capable of. And so I asked him, and he said, well, what was he, shooter, was he 10?
I don't remember. This is a new day. That was yesterday.
Yeah, I think he was 10 or 9, something like that, and it wasn't going to get interfered.
Okay, yeah.
And he had a spotter for himself, and so everything was handled on that. And so I talked to him this morning. I said, man, everything you called for, if it wasn't 100% correct, it was close. And that, I mean, that's hard to come by.
Yeah, yeah. I like to say no consecutive misses, and he helped you achieve that.
He did.
So
yeah.
You guys were a great team. And you know, some people I've heard them say things like, "I'm just the monkey behind the trigger." It's the spotter that won, and that's true in a lot of ways.
That is true.
You've got to have it together. You've got to have an accurate rifle. You've got to know your data. You've got to be able to do the right scope correction. But the conditions are never stable, never. So when you make a correction that your spotter gives you and it gets you back on target, that's valuable. So without the spotter, we couldn't do what we do.
Correct. And yeah, and that's, you know, I went into this yesterday with second fired brass, but I use the same powder charge as I did last week. And it's a lower node than I would like as far as speed goes, but it's working. And I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah.
It's working.
I like a lower or slower speed node. You have less pressure.
Correct.
So when you go into a hot environment, you're not going to have an overpressure problem. If you load to a higher node, in other words, a higher velocity to achieve farther distance, it doesn't always work out for you. You go into a hot July match, and the stuff that worked in the cooler spring matches will be too hot sometimes. You have bolt lift problems and pressure issues. So the lower node is typically the better place to be.
Right.
And you dial that scope up a little more to make up for the lower velocity. It's easier to control your muzzle. It's a better situation than trying to chase velocity.
Yeah. And, you know, I've had success on the higher end of it, and I liked it, and things changed. And so here we are. I did pretty good with a lower.
Oh, you did very well.
Lower node,
yeah.
And so that's what I'm learning. I want people to see this because you know how it is the fastest speed is always the best, right?
Not necessarily,
And
but
that was proven yesterday with mine. I mean, it wasn't nothing blazing.
yeah, speed will get you a little farther before you go transonic. But if your bullet is stable in transonic, it's not a problem. You spin it fast enough, typically about 1 inch faster than you would for, say, supersonic shooting. And that will give you that gyroscopic stability to help you maintain stability. And you know, some companies chase ballistic coefficient or BC, and they put pointy points on their bullets and they make them really long, and you have to spin them really fast to maintain stability. And they're not as stable in subsonic as a bullet designed for subsonic stability. We used to just chase accuracy, and now it's more important for these extreme long ranges, which tomorrow we're going a little over 2 miles, to have that subsonic stability.
Yeah.
So subsonic stability trumps a little higher BC every time.
Okay. And so, is this your second time here at the Hawks?
It is. We ran a match, the Nationals, our inaugural event, last October. It went very well, and this year the Nationals are going to be in Oklahoma, in Osage County. We're calling it Thunder in the Osage, and we're hoping to get 100+ shooters there. We're doing light and heavy. The dates are pretty firm, around October 22nd through the 26th. And we'll have catered food, we'll have rooms, we'll have a big tent to get out of the sun. And it's going to be a great event. I've had a lot of people asking about it this weekend. So we loved having it here. We've got wide open spaces in Oklahoma, and it's an hour from my house, which is a big plus to sleep in my own bed every night.
Yeah.
So we plan to run another match here at Hawks, Double Mountain, next spring, probably the first weekend in May. We're still working that out.
About this time.
Yeah,
this
I
has
hope you
worked
can
out
make it
pretty
back.
well. This
Yeah.
has worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Today especially, it's.
Oh, the weather was beautiful.
Yeah.
We had mild winds and not too much heat. And the rains came last week, and the river's been up. It was interesting to have to put a buggy on the other side of the river to set targets out. And then when the river rose some more, they had to take a tractor down to get across the river, jump in the other buggy to go set out the farther targets. But it's coming back down, so it shouldn't be a problem the rest of the weekend. So
Yeah.
tomorrow we shoot from our cold bore record target, which is a cold bore hit and 2 follow-up hits for the record, is 2,944 yards. And then we'll drop down to 2 targets a little closer for the first relay, and then we'll go farther to over 3,100 for the first target of the second relay, and then I believe it's 3,580 yards, a little past 2 miles for the final target. So
Okay.
last year that target was 1 MOA, it was 36 inches, and a few people hit it. So they've moved their bigger plate that was actually at a closer distance, that's 60 by 60 inches. So we will have more success on it. And, you know, if you set people up for success, it's more fun. So
That's what I found is it's no fun for everybody if you can't hit it.
right.
And so, especially with anybody new, they see what it's like to hit or get an impact at a certain range, and that's what it's all about. And technology today, it provides that.
Yeah. So what got you interested in ELR?
Well, I think honestly, I've always liked to shoot guns, and my first rifle that I ever bought that was capable was a hunting rifle. It was a 300 Savage Win Mag, and that was when I was in Wyoming for school. And honestly, it was a hunting rifle. It was a light gun. Couldn't do much with it. Well, ended up getting another gun later on. I got a 308, and so with just factory ammo out of the box. Once I figured out that I could do 500 yards, I knew I was capable. it wasn't an easy feat, especially that was a good 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Before I ever even knew what a Kestra was, you know,
Yeah.
and I started there. And about 3 years ago, I started reloading 300 Win Mag with my Barrett MRAD. Everything was lining up, and I said, well, finally got out to a mile, but there wasn't anywhere else I could go to shoot 2,000 yards. You know, not to say you couldn't go somewhere, but I didn't have a spot.
Right. You can't shoot 2,000 yards at very many ranges, but they're growing.
Correct.
So more and more match directors are finding places and working deals out with ranches. They were already set up here.
Yeah.
And so we were fortunate to, it makes it easy to show up and set up cameras and maybe trim a few branches out of the impact zone, that type of thing. But here they even plow around the targets, give us a nice zone to see our splash if we miss. And very accommodating. And I love coming here. It won't be my last time. So
hopefully not mine either.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so going on that, the way I found you and every place I've been since last year is from Practice Score.
Okay.
I had no idea that all this existed. I seen what I've seen online, but when I found Practice Score, I seen that, okay, if it's $150 to come try, then why not?
Yeah.
And I've met so many good people, and I've actually accomplished my goals and exceeded them by far.
Yeah. And it's, you know, here you hit targets well past a mile.
Yeah.
Think about 1.3 miles in the light gun class. And in Raton, I ran matches, ELR matches for quite a few years. And a younger man that partnered up with me has taken it over. And Walker's running some great matches there now. And we've added a hunter class, which is 30 cal and under, 19-pound weight limit. We raised the weight limit so you could put on your extra optic devices, and these chassis sometimes are a little heavy. So not necessarily restricted just to hunting style rifles, but 30 cal and under is the main thing. And then light gun is 338 and under, 26-pound limit. And then heavy is 50 BMG max, 50-pound limit. So he's offering opportunities for all of those there at the Whittington Center in Raton, New Mexico. He's running a series of them in June and one in July. And you can find them on Facebook at Raton, let me see, what do they call it? Raton Thunder ELR. I believe it's that simple. And so you can find a lot of the information and places to shoot on Facebook as well as Practice Score. And there's some really good websites. ELRHQ, Safety First Tactical website or Facebook page. They have a lot of stats. That's where a lot of match directors go to put out their information. And he also has a schedule on there so you can find events. It's about the most complete ELR schedule you can find.
Yeah.
And on Safety First Tactical ELRHQ.
Yeah.
So we started our own Facebook page, ELR USA, which stands for Extreme Long Range United Shooters Association. And we hope to work with other match directors and kind of unite the sport. And Brian, who owns the ELRHQ, has been working for a long time to unify rules and that type of thing. So as we unify the sport more, it helps it grow, and you know what to expect, and you can basically go from one match to another with the same equipment and expect the same results. There are a lot of different scoring systems and that type of thing. But you know what? Everybody at a particular match shoots for the same scoring system. So it's not that one's that much better than another one. They're different. So Spear Point, for example, they've been running ELR matches longer than most people in Kansas. And they've gone to the one-time multiplier for any of your 5 hits, 1 times the distance. A lot of match directors started out with 5-time multiplier down to 4, 3, 2, 1 for the final hit. And to me, that was too large of a bonus for the first shot hit. we've been trying 3, 2, 1, 1, 1 as a multiplier, and I like the way that works out. And but interestingly enough, had we used a different scoring system, it would have put you in the lead,
Correct.
and a different scoring system would have switched it again. And every one we looked at, you still stayed in the top 3.
Right.
So uh, that we picked it ahead of time, and that's what we've stuck with. So we're still exploring different scoring system and multipliers.
And so that's now that I've grown with this, and I actually discussing that point system with other people. Everybody has a different opinion
Right.
about that, and so, like you just said, today was my first time to be on the other side of that. So,
Well,
a little bit,
Yeah,
and so I'm still happy to be where I was, and I feel good and confident to go into the next match.
Yeah.
With my data and everything that I had. So,
Well, one thing we have in common, I shot a match in Virginia, and I lost by 90 points with the scoring system they were using. If you used a different scoring system with different multipliers, I with my first shot hit bonus multiplier, I would have won the match by 900 points. So, but like I said, everybody has the same chance. Had I hit a few more of the farther targets, and it would have been different.
yeah.
But it was fun. I do this for fun. If I had to win to have fun,
Yeah.
I don't think I would do it, because not I don't know of anybody that's been in the winner's circle for a full season every match. I don't think that's ever happened. I've seen some big winning streaks that people have had, and but it's going to rotate around. You'll have guys that get a new rifle, and their winning streak's over until they get some things sorted out. But it's more fun to win, but I'm not doing it for the win. I'm doing it for fun, which makes it fun every time you do it.
Yeah.
So,
so I was talking with the folks that run Black Bear, which I've never been to. They are out of Virginia, is that correct?
Yes, and they're here now, and that was where I took second place.
They told me that they have a junior program.
Yes.
That anybody under 18 years old doesn't have to pay a fee.
Yeah, we started doing that in
Is that
Raton.
common practice?
Yeah, I gave juniors at the King of 1 Mile, the juniors that were there, I gave them basically free passes to come to my matches.
Okay.
And hopefully that will continue. And if we don't have juniors coming up in the sport, this sport's going to go away.
Yeah.
So if you look at some of these older rifle clubs and different shooting sports, where the average age is older than me, if they don't recruit younger shooters, it will eventually go away.
And that's what I want to show. This is my main goal, is to show everybody that, or to let them know what ELR is. And there's not a lot out there.
Yeah.
There's just not.
Well, interestingly enough, Junior won the Nationals last year.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, he shot very well. And I'll mention his name after he's 18, but we'll just leave it at a junior shooter won. You can look at the stats, and his name's online. But very proud of him. He's been shooting with his father. So it's great to see father and son teams.
Sure.
And now my youngest son, who's in his mid-20s, is going to start shooting with me. And we shot our first match together last fall. I won third, he won fourth, and he was thrilled. But you know what's going to happen? He's going to start beating me. He's going to learn.
Well,
he's going to grow, and
it's not beating you if you can get him there.
Yeah.
You're going to be a part of it. So
it's more thrilling for me to see my sons win than it is for me to win.
Sure.
When he was shooting the 50 caliber competition with the 50 Caliber Shooters Association, there in Raton again at the Whittington Center, he won junior world champion 3 times in a row.
Okay.
And by then he was out shooting me some of the times, and out shooting most of the other adults when we'd go to regional matches. Yeah. It's just a natural. So I expect him to pick it up very fast and be very good at this. So I really look forward to shooting some matches with him in the future.
Okay. Do you, for new shooters, do you have any recommendations if they want to get into long range or any kind of shooting or ELR?
Yeah, don't be afraid to start with what you have. If you have a Barrett or a Savage or whatever, say a 338 or a big 30 cal Magnum, come shoot the light class. People will help you, and it's great support system that we have here at these matches. And everybody that I know of, uh, with the exception of maybe two people, the entire time I've been shooting, are supporters of the junior program. And maybe those two didn't like being beat by a junior, but it happens.
Well, we don't need to talk about that,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, let's change the subject.
Well, that's what most people, they don't
Yeah.
think they are capable. And
Yeah.
well, you got to want it.
Yes.
And so I think anybody, like a lot of people say the Savage 338's one of the best guns to get started with, and they're not wrong.
It's a nice option.
Yeah.
The Ruger Precision Rifle. There are some rifles under $2,000. Don't skimp on a scope. Get something with plenty of elevation adjustment. So when you're looking at a scope and you have a high power option with, say, 80 MOA of adjustment, or the lower power, say a 5 to 25 with 120 MOA of adjustment, pick the adjustment over the power, because that'll get you farther down the range.
Yeah.
And a lot of these scope companies have been developing products for ELR. There's been a lot of development in the industry based on this sport, and from bipods to adjustable bag riders. Uh, one scope example is now Zeiss offers the S3 series, that their S3 and the S5. The S3 will dial to 160 MOA.
Oh, wow.
Which is huge. And their S5, a little bit larger scope, designed for the heavy gun, steel erectors and stuff like that, instead of brass and softer metals, and it will dial to 140 MOA. So it's great to see companies being innovative. TACCOM HQ developed a prism so that you could add. I've got one that adds 100 MOA to whatever I've got available in my scope. So that's allowed me to shoot out to 3,700 yards with a 338 Lapua. And I couldn't have dialed that far.
Is that 200 yards past 2 miles, or almost?
It's 2.1 miles.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And because of the setup I had, the twist rate, it's all planned around the bullet you want to shoot, first of all, and then you pick a barrel with the right twist rate, the right length for the powder column you have available, and the speeds of the powder that are available. And if you plan it out, you can be successful for not a whole lot of money. And sometimes people buy factory rifles and just change the barrel out, so it's more appropriate for ELR. That's a good way to get started and to advance your sport. But yeah, that rifle was designed to be capable with that prism and the scope I have on it. It's a Leupold Mark V. It's got 135 MOA of adjustment. And
okay, so for people that aren't privy to this, what will 135, how far will that get you?
I was able to dial to 3,155 yards, and I still had some adjustment available. But when I went to 3,700 yards, that required 171 MOA of adjustment in the thin air in Raton. Here at a lower elevation, and all the other factors, it would take about 200 MOA of adjustment to get to 2 miles. So with the prism plus what's available in the scope, I can still dial to 200 yards in this environment also, even though it takes so much more. So without the prism, I couldn't do it. I would be holding so far over the target. I'd be, in the bottom of my scope, turning the power way down so I could see the numbers.
Hoping you got enough reticle.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else? Do you have any other announcements?
What do you think was your biggest challenge in ELR?
Honestly, I haven't met a challenge yet because I knew this is what I wanted to
Okay.
do.
So you studied it and
Well, I like I said, once I found practice score and I
uh-huh,
found out these
uh-huh,
matches, I knew that was my goal, is to
yeah.
2,000 yards. And I came and met a lot of people,
Hmm.
and I didn't have an adjustable base yet, or I didn't have a prism,
Hmm.
but I knew going there I was going to find out my answer on that.
Hmm.
And so Hunter let me use his prism,
Hmm.
and actually you were spotting for me,
Okay. Okay.
and that was at White Oak.
Yeah.
And he told me, he's like, well, if you put it on backwards, it's going to do this. And so I'm not sure if I put it on right or not. I just know that you couldn't see anything, I couldn't see anything. Well, that kind of answered my question on, I need to get an adjustable scope base,
Hmm.
because for me, I needed another base anyways.
Yeah.
And so it worked out that way. And
Yeah.
right now I can still hit 3,000 plus yards
Yeah.
without anything.
Then you figured out how to do your data charts and
It's a constant.
learned a lot
It's a
about
constant.
it since
You
then.
have to keep
Yeah.
up with it every day if
Yeah.
you want to be, if you want to get an impact at any
Yeah.
range. There's no way around it.
Right. Right.
And so I like that challenge of keeping up with it, testing, and then everything else has been a bonus.
Yeah. And I think one of the most difficult things in this sport is the spotting aspect of it. If you can't see the miss
Correct.
and then give the shooter a correction to get him on target, that's the biggest challenge. And one of the biggest challenges is actual knowing and being able to score a target and knowing if you hit the target. Uh, when you get past on a clear day about 2,000 yards, you can't see the impacts very well through your spotting scopes, even the modern, higher end spotting scopes. And on a foggy day or a hazy day, some mirage, you can't see your impacts even under a mile or even at 1,000 yards
Yeah.
sometimes. But long shot cameras has solved that problem
Yep.
with their camera system that goes well past 2 miles. And
Yep.
they've got a new 1,000-yard version. They've got some less expensive models for close range work, and then another model that's designed to go to 1,000 yards that will actually go farther. I use them in training at the Whittington Center. I'm the lead precision rifle instructor, and we have a 1 mile course, and I take them into Spring Canyon, and we shoot out to almost 1.5 miles, and kind of a bonus to sign up for a 1 mile course and get to shoot farther. But I use those at 1 mile. Otherwise, it'd be hard to tell where you hit on the plate, make those finer adjustments.
To be productive, it's
And
nice to have something there that you don't have to run back and forth.
yes, and also to score fairly. I mean, if you can't see that you definitely hit the target or missed it, then some people could get credit for a miss as a hit. Some people would not get credit for the hit. So by being able to see as well as if you're standing in front of the target with the long shots, that's a huge advantage and actually makes it possible. And you can rewind and review the targets if you have a discrepancy.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a frame hit, so you hear the impact, and the target could even move with the larger caliber, and you can rewind and go frame by frame. And it takes when you're on the slowest rewind mode and review mode, it takes 12 seconds to see 1 second of video. So you can really tell exactly what happened out there.
Okay.
So it's been great to work with Clay Roden, the owner of it, and
Yeah.
he's one of the partners here in this match.
Yeah.
So ELRUSA, Thunder Ammo, that's my ammunition company, and we teamed up to make this happen and to start this annual Nationals Invitational. So we'll take the top 20% of the ELR community and invite them to the national event this year in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And
is that,
guess what? You earned your invitation
oh, well,
yesterday.
thank you, sir. So is this going to be global? Is that what you're going off
No,
of?
this is a U.S.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, just a national event,
Okay.
right? And I've had foreign shooters asked to come to it. I just encourage them to go to the King of 1 Mile or the King of 2 Mile if they
Okay.
want to shoot light or heavy, and we'll just keep this for U.S.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, you got anything else?
If you want a jump start in ELR, um, go to a match,
Yeah.
look at it, talk to the people,
Yeah.
and then invest in
Correct.
you know,
Yeah. And that's
study it. And it's kind of like the measure twice and cut once. Study it, talk to people that people are willing to help you. Figure out what twist rates barrel, what barrel length. Different people like different barrel companies. There are probably 4 or 5 that are top, and some up and coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, talk to the people in the community. You'll find a lot of help. So it's
Okay.
it's not like going online and
Reading everybody's reviews, because
getting
everybody has their
opinions
opinion. Yeah.
and go to the people that are out there doing it,
Yeah.
and you'll learn a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. Watch these videos.
Yeah. No, that's why I'm really doing this, is so people can see what it actually is.
And that's why I'm agreeing to talk to you, because I knew you were doing it for the community, and like me, you want to grow the sport, and I think you fell in love with it, didn't you?
I think it's here to stay. So
Yeah.
we're gonna move forward with it. So
I'm enjoying it. I'm not going to run as many matches as I have in the past.
yeah.
I'll show up and shoot more, and I'm really looking forward to going back to Raton, to the Raton Thunder matches, and just showing up and shooting,
Yeah.
and not having to
Not
be
having
the
to worry.
match
Yeah.
director, and that's a full-time job, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't shoot most of my matches because I was there to run the match, and I would typically get my guns out after the match and shoot at some of the targets. We already had cameras out, and
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. But it's going to be great just to be able to show up and shoot.
Yep. All right. Well, I think we talked enough. Thank you,
Well, let's
Randy.
chat again. This
Yeah.
was fun.
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Billy.
All right,
Take
we'll
care.
see you.
Good luck tomorrow.
I'm not shooting.
Oh, right. Yeah. You already
I'll
have
be
it.
shooting with this.
Yeah. Well, you got